We're back, baby! The enthralling video game Odyssey of Kiryu Kazuma continues once again with Yakuza Kiwami. This game is a sequel to Yakuza 0 and a remake of the first game in the series released back in 2005. The Kiwami games feature the same stories as their counterparts, but feature new mechanics from Yakuza 0 and added additional side content. So these games are the de facto ones to play if you actually want to experience the entire story. Of course, that's what we're fucking here for. We need to know everything that happens and no stones will be left unturned. We're not skipping straight to Yakuza 7 like a little bitch. We're doing the whole shebang. Yakuza 1 starts in Kamurocho, Tokyo in 1995. Kiryu is now a lieutenant advisor of the Dojima family and is working alongside Shinji Tanaka to collect money from some local loan sharks, and after beating the shit out of them, it's revealed that Kiryu is now successful enough within the Yakuza to possibly become the leader of his own branch family. While heading over to a nearby bar, Kiryu has a run-in with random Yakuza and Majima, who is now the captain of the Shimano family. So now Majima beats the shit out of the Yakuza guy for attacking Kiryu, and he criticizes Kiryu for being a soft little pussy bitch. But Kiryu abides by his own morals and refuses to fight Majima, not even flinching as he's threatened with being stabbed. But of course, Majima only did this as a test of Kiryu's resolve. So now Kiryu meets up with Nishiki at Serena to discuss the future of the Kiryu family and about Nishiki's sister, who is currently in the hospital suffering from massive health complications. During the conversation, their childhood friend Yumi also shows up to the bar, and they all spend the night enjoying some drinks together. The game then does a brief flashback sequence to a couple months prior where Kiryu gave Yumi a ring engraved with her name for her birthday, and then the game cuts back to the present time where Kiryu wakes up at the bar after a night of partying. Kiryu then returns to the Kazama family office to drop off the loan shark money to the most goated Yakuza member of all time, Shintaro Kazuma-san, and Osamu Kashiwagi, that motherfucker. After briefly talking about the orphanage that Kiryu, Nishiki, and Yumi were all raised in, Kiryu then receives a call from Shinji, who tells Kiryu that Patriarch Dojima kidnapped Yumi out of fucking nowhere, and Nishiki is now run off to try to save her. Shit is super fucked, for like no reason. Kazuma-san warns Kiryu to stay put and let him sort things out, but Kiryu immediately goes to the Dojima family office to save them, where it's revealed that Nishiki gunned down Patriarch Dojima after raping Yumi. So now shit is just super fucked. One of the most powerful Yakuza members in the fucking Tojo clan has been gunned down right in his own office. Shit is omega fucked. So because Nishiki and Yumi are now entangled in the murder of a top Tojo clan official, Kiryu tells them to escape the crime scene, and he decides to take the fall in their place to protect his friends. Kiryu is then discovered by the police and is immediately taken into custody, where he's then interrogated by a police detective named Makoto Date, who clearly sees that Kiryu is covering for someone else. After being sent to prison, Kiryu is visited by Shinji, who serves him his expulsion papers from the Yakuza, and he tells him that Yumi has been missing ever since the murder took place and has formed amnesia due to the trauma of the incident. So now it's 2005. Kiryu has been in prison for 10 fucking years and has finally been approved to be released on parole. We then get a cutscene of Tojo clan officers being called into a meeting by Nishiki, who has now amassed great power and influence in the Yakuza during Kiryu's absence. And during this meeting, Nishiki questions the third chairman, Masaru Sera, about 10 billion yen that was stolen directly from Tojo clan funds in front of everyone, purposely sowing distrust and chaos within the Tojo clan leadership. So now the vibes are just absolutely fucked, and Nishiki is doing some nefarious 5D chess. Shit is popping off. Kazuma-san is foreseeing everything, and he has written a letter to Kiryu warning him about the changing dynamics within the Yakuza, and has directed him to meet with an owner of a club called Stardust after he's released from prison. After returning to Kamurocho, Kiryu immediately runs into Majima, who claims that 10 years in the slammer has turned him into a little pussy bitch, and Majima unironically proves this point by beating the shit out of him. And after Kiryu realizes how weak he's become, Majima decides to become the Naruto to Kiryu's Sasuke and continuously stalk Kiryu throughout the entire game and fight him at every chance he gets in order to help Kiryu regain his full strength. And Majima is not fucking around. He will literally ambush Kiryu at every chance he gets and force more random boss encounters than a Pokemon rival on crack cocaine. This is what Yakuza Kiwami has brilliantly called the Majima Everywhere system. The game will warp reality at every chance it gets to place you into a Majima boss fight no matter how inconvenient or absurd the situation may be. He will wander the streets looking for you. He will find you in convenience stores. He will sometimes join random battles out of nowhere. He'll hide in trash cans and ambush you. He will impersonate characters and side content to trick you into battling him. Majima is everywhere. He will fucking find you! Anyways, Kiryu heads to the club to meet with the owner of Stardust, Kazuki, and he tells Kiryu that Kazama-san wanted to use the club as a means to secretly meet with him. However, Kazama-san wasn't able to come to the club because the third chairman of the Tojo clan, Masaru Sera, was fucking murdered. Holy fucking shit! The missing 10 billion yen has caused the Tojo clan families to ignite a turf war from the shadows. Shit super fucked. Meanwhile, Kiryu still wants to meet up with Kazama-san face to face, but because the third chairman of the Tojo clan was just assassinated and Kazama-san stuck at Tojo clan headquarters, Kiryu decides to immediately sneak into Masaru Sera's funeral the next day, despite the fact that the entire Tojo clan will be in attendance and every single person at that funeral believes that he murdered Patriarch Dojima and will most likely kill him on sight. But because Kiryu is such a stubborn Chad, he's going to Tootsie Slide his way straight to the funeral to meet up with Kazama-san anyways, cause Kiryu doesn't give a fuck! Before Kiryu leaves, he meets a girl on the street with massive F-cup titties who tricks him into getting blackout drunk, and after eventually regaining consciousness on the street and realizing he's been robbed, he immediately goes straight back to the bar and beats the shit out of everyone. Kiryu is secretly escorted into the Tojo clan headquarters by Shinji in order to meet up with Kazama-san, who tells him that Nishiki completely changed after the Dojima incident 10 years ago. After Nishiki lost his sister due to her illness, and Kiryu being sent to prison, and Yumi still missing ever since the incident, Nishiki lost everything. And it was at this moment where he decided to sink all of his efforts into becoming the most powerful Yakuza in the Tojo clan. However, Kazama-san has foreseen fucking everything, and he tells Kiryu that Yumi is actually— Oh fuck! A sniper just shot Kazama-san! Shimano and his goons busted into the room! Shit super fucked! Kazama-san tells Kiryu to run away, take care of Yumi, and the 10 billion yen. Kiryu jumps out of the fucking second story window. He's just beating the shit out of the entire Tojo clan. He's beating up Majima and the Majima Everywhere system. He's beating up Shimano right at the front gate. Kiryu runs the fuck away as Nishiki looks at him menacingly in slow motion. That cocksucker motherfucker. Shit super fucked. There's nowhere to go. But then out of nowhere, the police chief Makoto Date shows up in his car to save Kiryu from the entire Tojo clan like some fucking Tachibana-san shit, dude. Date was so ballsy in this moment that it's almost borderline Chinese. This dude basically inherited Tachibana-san's bloodline techniques driving that goddamn car, evolving into the Date-san we all know and love. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, Date has achieved San status. Back in Kamurocho, Date-san and Kiryu go to a bar to discuss what just happened, and Date-san reveals that he's been demoted within the police for stepping out of line investigating the death of Dojima 10 years ago, which basically destabilized his entire life. But now Date-san has been tasked with investigating the murder of Masaru Sera, and because Kiryu is now the center focal point of all this crazy shit that's been happening, Date-san is asking Kiryu to help him investigate the case of the missing 10 billion yen, and is also willing to help him track down Yumi's whereabouts. So now Kiryu and Date-san decide to work together to unravel the mystery of the missing 10 billion yen. And so the story begins. Kiryu heads to Serena to begin his search, and Reina reveals that Yumi's long-lost sister Mizuki began working at the bar to follow in Yumi's footsteps for about 4 years before eventually opening her own bar named Aries. She also tells Kiryu that Mizuki has an incredibly distinct flower tattoo across her chest, and that the barkeep at another local bar called Bacchus would know where Aries is located. So now Kiryu heads over to Bacchus to find out more information, but stumbles upon a massive crime scene where everyone inside the bar has been fucking murdered except for a small girl hiding behind the counter holding a gun. Like, what the fuck just happened? So now Kiryu escorts her out of the bar, where they immediately run into a gang of street thugs throwing rocks at a small puppy for like no reason at all. So then Kiryu beats the fucking shit out of them. Kiryu then finds out that the little girl's name is Haruka, and apparently she's received letters from Yumi regarding her mother's whereabouts, and she decided to leave her orphanage to find her mother, Mizuki. So now Haruka passes out from exhaustion, and Kiryu heads back to Serena to give her some medicine, where it's later revealed that Haruka lived at Sunflower, which was Kazuma-san's orphanage that Kiryu, Nishiki, and Yumi all lived in together, and that she also knows the location of Aries. So with similar goals, Kiryu and this baby-ass kid Haruka decide to team up and track down Mizuki together. And so the story begins again. Mizuki's bar is located at the very top of Millennium Tower, the largest skyscraper in Kamurocho that was newly constructed while Kiryu was in prison for 10 years. years, which was also built in the same location of the empty lot from Yakuza 0. Oh my god, the fucking continuity. On the way to Millennium Tower, Kiryu and Haruka find a lost child in need of medical attention, so they rush over to a local doctor to get him treated, and he immediately gets placed into surgery. However, there's also a group of Africans who are at the hospital who believe the doctor is purposely ignoring them. So now they're like, what the fuck? The doctor's letting my brother die because he's fucking racist! And they grab a scalpel and try killing the doctor, so then Kiryu beats the fucking shit out of them, and then the doctor's like, bro, he's just passing a kidney stone, what the fuck are you doing? And they're just like, oh, shit. So now Kiryu and Haruka head up to the top floor of Millennium Tower where Ares is located, and they briefly look around until Oni Alliance Yakuza break inside the room, and they're just like, yo, we're gonna kidnap Haruka, motherfucker. We're gonna get that 10 million yen, you bitch ass. Oh, dude, you got a phone call. Don't worry, bro. Just take that shit. We can wait. So then Kiryu picks up the phone, and then Date-san's just like, holy shit, Yumi and Mizuki stole the 10 billion yen, and the Tojo clan has been tracking them down this whole time because she left her engraved ring at the crime scene. They know Yumi's involved because you engraved her ring 10 years ago, you fucking idiot. And then Kiryu's like, God fucking damn it. And then he beats the fucking shit out of them. With no more leads in the investigation, Date-san tells Kiryu to meet with an information broker called the Florist of Sai, who operates within the homeless encampments at West Park in a place called Purgatory, which leads Kiryu to this massively out of place, underground, hidden gambling, cage fighting red light district that somehow held up to utmost secrecy, yet also massively populated with hundreds of people. Classic dumbass Yakuza shit. And then Kiryu finds the florist in probably the most over-the-top headquarters office that could possibly exist. It's so fucking dumb. The florist then explains that he gathers his intel by having his men planted all throughout Kamurocho, consisting of literally an entire team of secret agent homeless people who gather his information on his behalf. There's like cameras planted everywhere. There's secret homeless people typing on computers and fucking dumpsters. It's so fucking stupid. So in order to pay for information from the florist, Kiryu has to win the prize money in the underground coliseum. So then Kiryu beats the shit out of everyone, and the florist explains that Mizuki closed her bar and vanished the day before Yumi stole the 10 billion yen, which has led every single Yakuza in the Tojo clan trying to track them down in order to get the money back and possibly become the fourth chairman of the Tojo clan as a reward. The florist then hits a switch that activates a secret elevator to his massive surveillance room with 10,000 cameras all throughout Tokyo, and they discover that Date-san was shot by Majima family Yakuza trying to stop Haruka from being kidnapped. Kiryu tracks them down to the batting cages, and Kiryu beats the fucking shit out of everyone while fighting Majima at the same time. But right before one of the Yakuza tries to stab Kiryu in the back, Majima takes the hit for him, claiming that he's the only one allowed to kill Kiryu, for he is his Nakama. So now the Yakuza takes Majima away to the hospital, and Kiryu takes Haruka back to Serena. Haruka then reveals that during the battle, an unknown man approached her and told her to take care of the pendant that Yumi gave her because it contains the secret to the missing 10 billion yen. Holy fucking shit. Majima succumbed to his stab wound and has been turned into a zombie. So now Kiryu has to fight zombie Majima while also being attacked by other zombies. Everything's going fucking nuts. There's a zombie outbreak in Kamurocho. And then it's revealed that zombie Majima isn't actually a zombie, and this is all a test of Kiryu's determination. So now Kiryu helps out the florist whose daughter is dating someone who's in the Yakuza, and there's a bit of family drama, and it doesn't really fucking matter. It's kind of a waste of time. And then Kiryu helps out Date-san, who's also got some father-daughter family drama, and it also doesn't really matter, and it's also kind of a waste of time too. So now Kiryu goes to check out some dancers at the strip club, but Majima is there sexy dancing on the pole, so Kiryu beats the shit out of him. And after that encounter, Kiryu goes to the local bar to calm down for a bit and gets served some drinks from bartender Majima, so Kiryu beats the shit out of him again while he's drunk. And then on the way back to Serena, Kiryu gets stopped by Officer Majima for being too drunk, so Kiryu beats the shit out of him. Back at Serena, Date-san shows Kiryu a photo of a woman who was drowned in Tokyo Bay earlier in the day who has the same flower tattoo as Mizuki. And according to the photo, the tattoo also included a signature of the tattoo artist who inked Kiryu's dragon tattoo on his back. So now Kiryu decides to go talk to the tattoo artist to hopefully get some more information, information, and in the meantime, Date-san and Kiryu both agree to hide this new information from Haruka until they know the truth. So now Kiryu finds the tattoo artist, and he tells Kiryu that the flower tattoo was only an imitation of his artwork, and he has no information on the client. However, out of fucking nowhere, Nishiki just randomly calls the place and essentially talks a bunch of shit and confirms the dead body in Tokyo Bay is Mizuki. And he also tells Kiryu to meet him at Serena at 10 p.m. Kiryu then gets some touch-up work on his tattoo, and the artist explains how Nishiki's tattoo represents the legend of the koi dragon, the famous story of a koi fish who successfully swam upstream through the dragon gate and became a dragon, like some Magikarp shit. And Nishiki's tattoo is very subtle symbolism of how Nishiki has been growing and ascending throughout the Yakuza and becoming a rival on par with Kiryu, who has the dragon tattoo, the dragon of Dojima as he is known. You see, while Majima represents the Naruto to Kiryu's Sasuke, Nishiki represents the Sasuke to Kiryu's Itachi. So now Kiryu and Date-san meet back up at Serena to discuss their meeting with Nishiki, but then Haruka gets pissed off because Kiryu was investigating Mizuki's whereabouts without her. But now that it's been confirmed that she's actually dead, Kiryu doesn't want to tell her the bad news. So now Haruka is just like, "Oh my god, Kiryu, why are you hiding information from me? No one takes me seriously because I'm a little girl. If you want the pendant with the money, you can have it. I want to see my mommy. I'm gonna go find mommy on my own." So then Kiryu's like, "Don't talk back to me, bitch. You shut the fuck up. I don't give a fuck about that stupid pendant. I'm trying to find your mom, you dumbass kid. Boom, bitch. You don't talk back to me, bitch. I'm the dragon of Dojima. Bah! You're not getting no candy at the checkout, you little shit. Shut the fuck up. Beat that kid's ass. Fuck that kid up. Bow! Bitch, I'm in the fucking Yakuza, bitch, you stupid ass fucking bow! Anyways, now they don't tell her that her mom is dead, and then Haruka slams the pendant on the counter and runs away, because I guess she got upset for some reason. So now Kiryu and Date-san run off to go find her, and she immediately gets kidnapped and taken hostage at Stardust by some mysterious goons who are looking for Haruka's pendant. So then Kiryu decides to hand it over to save Haruka, but then they immediately start shooting him during the trade, and Haruka gets shot. So now Kiryu just goes fucking apeshit and beats the fucking shit out of everyone. And after making sure Haruka is safe, Kiryu tells her the truth that Mizuki is dead. Date-san then decides to do a bit of investigating on who just attacked them, and Kiryu takes Haruka over to the florist in Purgatory to keep her safe. So now the game does this weird story arc where Date-san's just like, "Yo, Kiryu, you have a lot of time until you have to meet up with Nishiki. You and Haruka should take a break and do some side quests." And then Kiryu's like, "Bro, Haruka just got shot at the club. We literally took her here so she doesn't get kidnapped again by Yakuza. What the fuck are you talking about?" And then Date-san's just like, "Whatever, dude, she can walk it off." And it's like, okay, fucking whatever. So then Kiryu and Haruka end up going on this goofy ass story side quest where they end up going to a hidden gambling hall and gamble with each other. But then it's revealed that the dealer was using fake dice to rig the house against them. So then the dealer just sicks the guards on Kiryu for exposing their scam. So then Kiryu just beats the shit out of everyone, and then nothing fucking happens. It's like, what the fuck? What are we doing? So now Kiryu drops off Haruka at Purgatory before going to a hostess club to kill some time before meeting Nishiki, but that ends up being Majima, so then Kiryu beats the shit out of him. Kiryu finally meets Nishiki face to face at Serena, and during their meeting, Nishiki reveals that he actually didn't plan on killing Mizuki, and it was his goons that ended up killing her without his permission. And after failing to persuade Kiryu to hand over Haruka and her pendant, he reveals that he was the one who shot Kazuma-san at Tojo Clan headquarters. So now Kiryu punches the shit out of him in anger, and Nishiki explains that he will rise to the top of the Tojo Clan no matter what, and they are no longer sworn brothers. Nishiki leaves the bar and immediately sicks his goons on him, and Kiryu beats the fucking shit out of everyone. Meanwhile, a giant explosion occurred at Purgatory, and gang members broke inside and captured Haruka, and after beating the shit out of every single gang member in Kamurocho, it's revealed that the gang members were hired by Lao K Long and the Snake Flower Triad. And guess what? He's fucking Chinese! 12 years ago, the Chinese used their ancient bloodline techniques against Kiryu to capture and torture him inside of Chinatown over disputes with the Dojima family. But luckily, Kazuma-san broke in like some Max Payne shit and fucking saved his ass. So now Kiryu is fighting an even greater uphill battle, as the Chinese are his most devious of opponents. Before he leaves, Kiryu gets approached by a beautiful woman on the street, and he goes up to her hotel room to have sex with her, only to realize that she's actually a trans woman, and Kiryu gets his wallet stolen woman and gets unconsensually fucked in the ass by her gawk. But because Kiryu is a based ally of the LGBT community, he treats this situation like he would any other. And he beats the fucking shit out of them. Date-san and Kiryu head over to Yokohama to rescue Haruka, and Kiryu reflects on the events of the story so far, and the challenging of fate. Haruka wanted to protect Kiryu by giving him the pendant and distancing herself from the group, and this act of courage symbolically reflects the moment Kiryu stood in Nishiki's place for the murder of Dojima 10 years ago, making him question his own feelings on why he decided to change the course of Nishiki and Yumi's lives, whether that be having the courage to protect them or as a response out of fear of having to witness the consequences of their own actions. However, Kiryu realizes that, despite the outcome, that challenging fate was the correct decision, for a man desperate to protect what he values most will be able to overcome anything. Mizuki is dead, and despite Haruka losing her entire purpose of traveling to Kamurocho, she too continues to challenge her fate, and it's because of this, Kiryu will protect her at all costs. The Chinese immediately pull out guns and start going after him, and Kiryu's just beating the fucking shit out of everyone. Kiryu runs into Lao K Long, who reveals that he's now sold off Haruka's pendant to Nishiki and that the Snake Flower Triad actually wanted Haruka herself, as she is valuable in ways that not even the pesky Japanese Yakuza could even possibly comprehend. So now Kiryu does a hype-ass boss fight against the fucking Chinese. Everything's going fucking nuts. Lao K Long's doing all sorts of Chinese shit, illegal Jackie Chan type moves, but Kiryu is able to overcome their hidden Chinese abilities against all odds, and after beating everyone up, the police enter the building and arrest Kiryu for kidnapping Haruka. Date-san then questions the police for this false imprisonment, but then it's revealed that they have no intentions of releasing Kiryu regardless of what happened, because the police are now involved in the missing 10 billion yen conspiracy. That's right, motherfucker! The Japanese police are in cahoots with the fucking Chinese! I fucking knew it! Meanwhile, Date-san's just like, yo, fuck this shit, and he just abuses his power within the police force and breaks Kiryu out of jail. Because Date-san knows the police are internally compromised and corrupt, and he's standing up to power in the face of injustice, and that's why Date-san's a fucking san, bro! You don't fuck with Date-san! In fact, Date-san is investigating the fuck out of everything. He's figured out that the men who captured Haruka at Stardust were actually working for an underground government organization of the cabinet office known as the MIA, the Ministry Intelligence Agency, and that a Japanese politician named Jingu commands this hidden government police force. And on top of that, the body of Mizuki that was discovered in Tokyo Bay was actually a completely different person. That's fucking right. That person was the fake Mizuki. It's like, what? What? DNA tests revealed back in the lab showed that the body discovered was actually a completely different person based off her dental records, meaning Mizuki is actually still alive. Holy fucking shit, what a fucking plot twist! Meanwhile, the fucking Chinese show up on the highway and shit super fucked. Date-san gives Kiryu his gun and he just starts blasting the shit out of everyone. He's gunning down all the Chinese! Cars are fucking exploding! Everything's going fucking nuts! Kiryu has never killed anyone in the Yakuza series, so now Date-san gives Kiryu his phone back, and Shinji left him a voicemail about someone close to them possibly leaking information to Nishiki. So now Kiryu heads over to the florist to investigate the matter, where it's revealed that Reina has actually been feeding information to Nishiki the whole time. What the actual fuck is going on? Majima ambushes Kiryu by hiding in a giant traffic cone, and Kiryu beats the shit out of him, and then they head back over to Serena, but the entire place is completely destroyed and covered in blood. Reina left a note explaining that she actually loved Nishiki and was willing to do anything to please him, but after realizing her mistakes, she attempted to assassinate Nishiki at the bar and things went south, with Shinji and Reina barely escaping alive. Kiryu starts tracking them down and starts beating the shit out of all the Nishikiyama family Yakuza. Everything's going fucking nuts. And then Kiryu finds Shinji trapped at gunpoint for betraying the Nishikiyama family, and it's revealed that Reina has been killed. Kiryu goes fucking apeshit and starts beating the fucking shit out of everyone, and then Shinji tells Kiryu in his final words that Kazama-san is still alive and with a woman named Akemi. Shinji is dead. Shinji! No! What the fuck is this is bullshit, dude. Kiryu heads back to Purgatory and the florist reveals that Ikemi is Shinji's girlfriend who works at a soap land called Shangri-La. So then Kiryu obtains a membership card and ends up going with Haruka. So then the guy at the front desk is just like, bro, you can't bring a little girl into a soap land, bro. What are you doing? And then Kiryu's like, bitch, I don't give a fuck. So then they meet with Ikemi and she tells him that Kazama-san was taken away to a boat docked at Shibara by one of Shinji's associates, Terada of the Omi Alliance, and that the Nishikiyama family is searching for the 10 billion yen and the third chairman's will, which contains the name of the fourth chairman who will succeed his position in the Tojo clan. So now Nishiki is planning on finding that will and destroying it to stop that shit from happening. Meanwhile, Yakuza break into the place. Shit super fucked. Kiryu's just beating the shit out of everyone. Majima shows up and starts talking hella shit and Kiryu just beats the fucking shit out of him, just like, bitch, I don't care that you're everywhere, I'll beat the shit out of you everywhere. Kiryu and Haruka then head over to Shibara to meet up with Terada and Kazama-san, where it's revealed that Mizuki has actually been Yumi this whole time. Kazama-san is once again 10 steps ahead of everyone else playing 5D chess. He has foreseen fucking everything. After Kiryu was taken to jail for the murder of Dojima, Yumi lost all her memories due to the trauma of the incident and instinctively ran away to Sunflower Orphanage. And it's at this point in time where Kazama-san took her in and tried to help her regain her memory. After showing her a picture of Nishiki, Yumi freaked the fuck out. And it was at this very moment where Kazama-san realized that Nishiki was the one who actually murdered Dojima. So Kazama-san decided to hide Yumi from Nishiki and take care of her in secret. Meanwhile, as Yumi was dealing with her amnesia, the third chairman, Masaru Sera, and Jingu of the MIA were closely working together. And Jingu eventually came in contact with Yumi, and having lost her memories of Kiryu, she fell in love with Jingu instead and later gave birth to Haruka. However, shortly after this occurred, Jingu then received a proposition to marry the Prime Minister's daughter. And in order to further his political career, Yumi backed away from her relationship and allowed it to happen, as she wanted what was best for him. But this is where shit hit the fan. After Jingu gained immense political power due to his marriage, Jingu then became blackmailed by a journalist who caught wind of Yumi and Haruka's existence and planned on creating a media scandal to fuck him over. And wanting to desperately protect his newfound power and influence within the government, Jingu decided to kill the journalist in cold blood and requested the help of Masaru Sera to dispose of the body. Furthermore, in order to stop this from ever happening again, Jingu also decided to assassinate Yumi and his own newly born daughter. However, Jingu made one fatal mistake, for the assassin who would attempt to kill Yumi during the night at Sunflower crossed paths with fucking Kazama-san, immediately triggering Yumi's PTSD and awakening her lost memories. Kazama-san then later convinced Masaru Sera to hide them both from Jingu by changing Yumi's identity to Mizuki and placing Haruka in Sunflower Orphanage. Kazama-san is just on another fucking level. No one can fucking touch him. Meanwhile, Shimano family Yakuza bust into the boat and start beating the shit out of everyone. They throw a fuck ton of grenades and blow up the boat. Shimano himself shows up and talks hella shit, claiming that he's also playing 5D chess as well, for he also knew that Terada was working with Kazama-san and was probing the Tojo clan and was working against the Nishikiyama family, and he also figured all this out and he was gonna kill them and take Haruka. However, Kazama-san is foreseeing fucking everything, because he also knew that Shimano knew everything about Terada, and he also knew that Shimano would respond by showing up and blowing up the boat with grenades. So now Kazama-san reveals his 10D chess move by calling in a truckload of Yakuza reinforcements as backup with Osamu Kashiwagi, that motherfucker. Everything's going fucking nuts. Everyone's just beating the shit out of everyone. Kiryu beats the shit out of Shimano and decides to spare his life, because Kiryu is an honorable Yakuza who has never killed anyone and definitely didn't gun down all the Chinese on the highway. But then Shimano takes advantage of this moment and lobs a grenade straight at Kazama-san and is immediately gunned down by Terada. Shimano is fucking dead. Kazama-san protected Haruka from the blast but suffered a fatal blow, and as he's bleeding out on the ground, Kazama-san reveals everything. He explains that he was working with Yumi and Masaru Sera to steal the 10 billion yen, and that the money actually belonged to Jingu, who is using the Tojo clan to launder money, with their ultimate goal to expose Jingu to the public and ultimately ruin his career, severing his ties to Yumi and the Yakuza. Kazama-san also gives Kiryu Masaru Sera's will, which contains the name of the fourth chairman of the Tojo clan, and in his final words, he issues Kiryu an apology and reveals that Sunflower is actually an orphanage specifically specifically for the children of the parents that Kazama-san has killed. In a sad twist of fate, the man Kiryu looked up to the most as a father figure in the absence of a family was the one who murdered his parents. However, despite everything, Kiryu tells Kazama-san that from his perspective, he was his true father, right as Kazama-san dies in his arms. Kazama-san is dead. Kiryu returns to Kamurocho a different man. The death of Kazama-san has shaken Kiryu to his core, and now he must face off against Nishiki, his lifelong sworn brother who has turned against him. The time has finally come for Kiryu to address some unfinished business and finally settle things once and for all. At Pocket Circuit Racing! Kiryu is back at Pocket Circuit Stadium 17 years later, untouched by time, and Pocket Circuit Fighter is finally engaged and planning on marrying his fiancée. Oh, what? So now he wants Kiryu to find a successor to run Pocket Circuit Stadium before he retires. Kiryu continues to hone his racing abilities and begins reuniting with his long-lost friends who he raced against 17 years ago. Kiryu catches up with Hideki-kun at the arcade, his first rival. We all remember Hideki-kun. And Kiryu also runs into Mika-chan, the 7-year-old girl whose father allowed Kiryu to have sex with her. However, because Mika-chan is now in her late 20s and Kiryu can now legally fuck her, Hideki-kun gets intimidated by Kiryu's DILF energy and immediately challenges Kiryu to a race to win over Mika-chan's love. Shit's popping the fuck off. Everything's going fucking nuts. Ken Love bloom on the racetrack. Majima, get the fuck out of here, bro. I'm tired of your shit. All my skill trees were maxed the fuck out like 20 hours ago. I'm not using the fucking dragon style. Leave me the fuck alone. You're ruining the goddamn story. Takuma-kun is now working at Stardust as a host, one of Kiryu's most formidable opponents back in the day, possibly the most important character in the Yakuza franchise. And Kiryu believes Takuma-kun could continue Pocket Circuit Fighter's legacy. However, Takuma-kun became bitter about racing after failing to become a pro F1 racer and never wanted to race at Pocket Circuit Stadium ever again. But Kiryu calls him out for his cowardice and challenges him to meet him on the racetrack to settle the matter. The race of the century is at play! 17 years in the making, everything's going fucking nuts, and Kiryu clutches out a win once again. And in his defeat, Takuma-kun realizes the empty void that was left in his heart after he abandoned Pocket Circuit Stadium many years ago. After chasing multiple jobs to distract himself from his failure of becoming an F1 racer, he realized he was racing away from his true dreams. And with this ultimate battle against his lifelong rival, he rediscovered his passion for racing and agrees to become the second generation Pocket Circuit Fighter. The next generation of Pocket Circuit Racing continues to live on. Shit super fucked! Nishiki sent an army of goons to kill Kiryu and Haruka. The MIA have infiltrated Millennium Tower. Everything's going fucking nuts! Kiryu and Haruka fight their way up to Ares and they both finally meet with Yumi right before Jingu shows up in a helicopter with all of his goons. He immediately talks hella shit and pulls out a gun and shoots at Haruka, but Kiryu blocks the bullet like a fucking badass. So now Terada shows up with the only alliance Yakuza to stop them, but then it's revealed that Jingu actually disbanded his alliance with the Tojo clan and sided with the Omi alliance instead. So now Terada's goons turned on him and shit's even more fucked. Jingu has also been playing 5D chess as well because he knew that Chairman Sarah would betray him in the future after figuring out that Sarah kept Yumi alive this whole time. So he intentionally told Nishiki about the 10 billion yen and used his ambitious nature to sow chaos within the Tojo clan with his ultimate goal of destroying the Tojo clan from within and giving the 10 billion yen to the Omi alliance in order to gain immense political power in Japan through his control of the MIA and the Omi Alliance Yakuza at the same time. Holy fucking shit. Except, oh shit, Yumi's playing 12D chess. She just pulls out a suitcase with explosives and is just like, bitch, I'll blow up the whole fucking building and the 10 billion yen at the same time. You can't fucking touch me. Haruka, let's get the fuck out of here. And then Kiryu reveals that Chairman Sarah has also foreseen everything even more than Jingu. For he knew that Kazuma-san knew that Jingu knew that he would betray the Tojo clan, which is why he wrote in his will before he was assassinated that Kiryu Kazuma will become the 4th chairman of the Tojo clan. Kiryu's the 4th fucking chairman. Holy shit. And now Kiryu will continue Kazuma-san and Chairman Sarah's legacy and fulfill his role as the 4th chairman of the Tojo clan by kicking their fucking fucking asses. Kiryu's beating the absolute fuck out of everyone. It's the hypest shit. And then Kiryu fights Jingu on the top of Millennium Tower, and the whole boss fight fucking sucks ass. So basically, Jingu has these two elite soldier dudes with guns that just knock you down every time they shoot you, so no matter who you're fighting, the other dude will just pull out their gun and knock you down, and there's really nothing you can do about it. It fucking blows. Terrible boss fight. So now Kiryu beats the shit out of Jingu, and he meets back up with Yumi and Haruka, where Nishiki finally shows up. So now Nishiki explains that he knew Jingu was fucking with him the whole time, but he didn't give a shit because he was willing to risk it all to become the leader of the Tojo clan no matter what. And the reason Nishiki has been so determined to do this is because, and you won't believe this shit, Nishiki is in love with Yumi. That's fucking right. He loved Yumi this whole time. You see, because Kiryu is a Giga Chad and Yumi always loved Kiryu, Nishiki became a fucking soy incel. And the reason he went overboard and gunned down Dojima to save Yumi was because he had little dick energy and used a gun to solve his problems. Unlike Kiryu, who has honorable morals and only uses his fists as a means to resolve his conflicts, which is why Kiryu has never killed anyone before. And despite this pathetic display of beta behavior from Nishiki, Kiryu still one-upped him by taking his place in the murder because he will do anything he can to protect his friends. The ultimate alpha move that one-upped him in front of Yumi and further drove Nishiki's incel rage for the next 10 years. Which is why he foolishly believed that if he became the Tojo clan chairman and outranked Kiryu in the Yakuza, then Yumi would finally love him instead with his newfound power. For some fucking reason. Which is also so dumb in retrospect because, like, Reina loved Nishiki and she's like way hotter than Yumi. Like, what the fuck, bro? Where your goddamn priorities at? So now the ex-sworn brothers Kiryu and Nishiki rip their fucking shirts off and face each other in a final climactic battle on the top floor of Millennium Tower, 17 years in the making. The Koi Dragon versus the Dragon of Dojima. Everything's going fucking nuts. We're getting Naruto-ass flashbacks during the fight. It's hype as fuck. And Kiryu just beats the fucking shit out of him. It's not even a fair fight. Nishiki may have just become a dragon, but Kiryu's been a fucking dragon, bro. You had 10 years to catch up. You still couldn't do it, bitch. You can't fuck with Kiryu. Yumi and Kiryu have a heartfelt reunion, and she uses the pendant to unlock a hidden room containing the 10 billion yen. She then plants her explosives on the money to destroy it once and for all. But then, oh shit, Jingu comes back with a gun to kill Kiryu. But then Yumi blocks the bullet and is bleeding out, and now Jingu's about to finally finish him off. But then, oh shit, Nishiki grabs a knife and stabs the fuck out of him and takes a bullet to the chest. And in a final act of redemption, Nishiki takes Jingu's gun and blows himself up alongside Jingu and the 10 billion yen, and Yumi bleeds out from her gunshot wound. Everyone is fucking dead. Police immediately storm the building and begin to arrest Kiryu, but Date-san shows up to de-escalate the situation and prevent him from going back to jail. However, Kiryu has become a broken man and has lost the will to live, having lost everyone he ever cared about. Nishiki, Kazama-san, Yumi, everyone he ever considered family is now gone, and Kiryu is willing to go back to prison. However, Date-san then knocks some sense into him and tells him to continue living his life for Haruka's sake, and Kiryu agrees, having realized his newfound life purpose. The game then cuts to Tojo clan headquarters, with Kiryu taking the position of the 4th chairman and immediately resigning in the same day, giving away the 5th chairman position to Terada. Kiryu then decides to leave Kamurocho to start a new life alongside Haruka, and he says his final goodbyes to Date-san. It's a hopeful yet bittersweet ending where Kiryu and Haruka can finally get some closure and live a quiet and peaceful life. And nothing crazy ever happened again.